This is something. Well, this part is true. It didn't change, it certainly didn't get any better either. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Rod Green got in today too. Well, he was just about to try it. Yeah.
All right, we're waiting for one more person so we can have a quorum and then we'll start the meeting.
It's so dark. in here. There's none of those lights are on.
Somebody else.
There's
This is the gentleman from Priority.
Lynette. Rhonda just.
Am I in the wrong seat? No,
Rhonda said
I know.
Okay.
He's late.
Okay, it's 5:04. We'll call the meeting to order. And we'll start with the roll call from the clerk.
Caviston, absent. Finley here. Lewis,
Present.
Blinky,
Here.
McGill, she just texted, she's on her way. But right now absent. Seacrest, absent. Schwartz,
Here.
no quorum.
All right, we have a quorum, so can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we can only have to stick to the agenda tonight. We can't make any decisions about anything because it's a special meeting. And you have to have all of the members present in order to change an agenda. So our agenda is just discussing the priority waste issue. But before we get to that, we're going to have citizen participation. You're limited to 2 minutes, but if you'd like to make a statement to the board, just step up to the lectern there, and is the button on?
Hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, and speak into the microphone. So we're opening up citizen participation at this point. Is there anybody who wants to participate?
Just gonna say their name.
Yeah.
Testing, okay. Name's Ron Koshel, Berry Road. I'm here because I happen to touch base with the office here today to find out at the last minute about this meeting. I think there should be something that should be made available to us, whether it be emails or whatever, so that we get some notice more than just the same day. This has been going on. I've been to the supervisor's office here a couple times and he's never in. I talked to other people that are supposedly able to take care of my concerns, and it hasn't happened. So all I can say is, however this came about, that we got this priority waste instead of GFL, who stunk. So we're getting evidently worse because those of us that have paid have already paid. And there is no system other than GFL figured, okay, well, we're not going to have the contract anymore. We're going to have the money. We'll send out bills and we're going to pocket it because there's nothing in place to get our money back. I think everybody else is pretty much in the same boat.
Hello, I'm Glenn Thomas. I live on Barrington Drive. And I have been trying to get a replacement can, a tip can, started with Republic. Yeah. GFL finally agreed to replace it for free on 1st of May. I called GFL on Friday only to be transferred to priority when I found out that they had our residential service. And I was told, well, guess what? You're not going to get it unless you pay us $100. And I said, wait a minute. This was already in the works. And go, we don't know anything about it. We don't care. You're going to have to pay for it. And I said, I'm not paying $100. And they said, well, you're going to anyway in the near future because we're going to replace all the cans and you're going to have to pay $200 for your trash and your recycle. That's garbage. And I'm being very careful on what I say because I'm so PO'd and you guys don't need to hear 4-letter words. Thank you.
My name is Eric Eels. I'm known as the Getty's Ridge Headache, and there are more reasons than one for that happening. Are you all aware that this 4th of July garbage pickup, that your neighbors got their garbage picked up on Friday last, but only in certain neighborhoods? The ones that started about $600,000 and up. I don't have a problem with you owning a great house. I have a problem with being treated like the welcome mat. Wipe your feet on me as you come in and then don't forget the crap on the way out. Nobody likes it. My garbage is sat there now. This is the second Tuesday. I've heard of people sitting here tonight. They're on their third week. Can you believe this? What's going on? Why are we paying for a service I can't get rebate on? I can't get any return on. And I think I said something at an earlier meeting, Ken, that I don't need to be treated this way. I pay my bills on time. If I don't, service gets shut off. If that happens and my neighbor's garbage is stacking up, I'm going to call you and you're going to have to get on them.
Well, we have the representative here tonight from Priority. We will answer these questions. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
My name is Thelma Perry, and I live in the Oak Brook subdivision. And my problem is the lack of communication. I don't think the Nextdoor and Facebook and the internet is the way that we should be communicated with these transitions. Last year, year before last, when you all changed companies, I called, I think, Ken Swartz, and had a hard time getting through, but was told that the township couldn't afford to send out mailings to let us know that the service was being changed. So it's got to be a better way. I paid two companies, I think last year, I think it was Republic. I paid them, I paid GFL. Republic asked for more money. I was never reimbursed. I wrote memos, emails asking for assistance from the township. I didn't get any. I never received my money back. They finally dropped the collection case, I think for $25. That's not fair. Not fair at all. It's not fair to expect people to go to Nextdoor, Facebook, or your website to find out what services are being changed when we are to receive services or any of that. So this is disturbing to know that whoever's taking over now haven't seen anything as to when and what day they will be picking up recycle or what is it, trash, and what's the other one? Yeah, that. So we need better communication here. Thank you.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Gilda Miles and I too am a proud member of Oak Brook. And a lot of my residents since I've been there for quite a time, reach out to me when things like this happen. Priority, I'm glad that you're here, but it's obvious that you have not made this subdivision in this community, Superior Township, your priority. That's a concern for me because Ken too, we pay taxes. We are expected to pay those taxes on time. Same thing with our trash pickup. We are expected to have the trash service picked up on time. When I call AI intelligence, whatever you want to call it, I'm old school, excuse me, you get prompt after prompt after prompt, and the people that you talk to, I'm just going to let you know, Mr. Priority, they don't have a clue on what's going on. I do want to thank you, Ken, because I called your office today. You left me a message, but your comment concerned me when you shared and said, Priority bought GFL, but Priority didn't realize that a lot of their equipment was not working. Well, I'm sorry. When I bought my house, when I buy a car, when I buy clothes, I try it on, I do a walkthrough, and I make sure it's going to meet my needs, or guess what? I'm not buying it. So Priority, I'm holding you responsible, and I'm holding our township responsible. And moving forward, taking this, Ken has a serious learning experience to say, when we're entering into contracts with folks, let's make sure we have all of our I's dotted, all of our T's crossed, and if not, you're not going to be representing Superior Township. And when we have problems like this, then it may be time for our township to say, I'm sorry, but you're not the company that we need to represent our residents. So Priority, the request I have for you, since if we're going to be stuck with you, is that for the summer months, Go back to weekly picking up our compost versus bi-weekly. That may buy you some good grace, because that's a struggle too, sitting that out every other week. And like mine's still sitting out there now. My trash was picked up probably about 12:30 today, which is normally the pickup on Monday. I'm saying priority, and as a resident, I'm willing to work with you or be a part of your silent committee, but this has got to stop. If you're calling yourself priority, then make the people who you're serving a priority. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Brooks. I live in Brumley Park on Wexford. Anybody out there know last week they picked up? They didn't pick up on Wexford and they didn't pick up on Glen Hill and back of us. I seen the truck drive right by my house and I'm like, seriously? No, and since this trash has not been picked up, it's ridiculous because we get fined out there. They tell me, you gotta bring your trash in there. Man, I got two bins of trash for 2 weeks. I'm not putting that in my house or anywhere else. And then if you're on the end where I'm at down with Avondale, where you can see the woods in the back, we noticed we've been seeing rodents come out the woods. Mice, raccoons, I even seen a possum. So we got mice running through the street at the corner because they go into the trash. I mean, you guys got to do something because, I mean, even with the township, I mean, I understand they got bought out, but they should have gave you guys the opportunity to say, okay, let's shop around first before we just get through into some mess. And if you've done the look at the reviews, priority reviews are horrible all over. So that's kind of embarrassing that we got to be stuck with this. Like you say, we bought this house, we expect it to work. You guys want our taxes. You want it on time and we get fined. What about our trash? Who are we going to find for our trash? Did we get 6 months free service because they didn't pick up in 2 days? It's horrible. That's ridiculous. Guys need to shop around some more and get rid of these clowns.
Good afternoon. My name is Irma Golden. I live at 1585 Sheffield Drive. And the reason I got up is because I'm the one that gets the majority of calls. I spent 4 hours in Getty's Ridge on Saturday just talking to residents. So there's a lot of things. A couple of things that happened, and the only way I'm gonna be able to tell you is to tell you right now in public. There was a large hydraulic spill on Devon Street, and when the truck was picked up, nobody came and picked up that oil. And that oil ended up getting traced all the way through the neighborhood. And in Washington Square, there's about 5 streets that never were picked up, nothing. In Bromley, we know there was Wexford and Glen Hill. On Panama, nothing. Panama vicinity, which is Panama Avenue, Panama Court, nothing. In Getty's Ridge, nothing. However, what was strange is that all of a sudden on Wednesday, I heard that the people were working overtime and then nobody, they were going to be caught up. And so did I do something? I am the one that gets on next door, but this is the only way I have to communicate. So what I did, I got on next door because I also saw it on the website and did all of the places that I just mentioned. Did they backtrack and get the trash? No. They just continued. The Thursday people on whatever day 4th of July was on, they had their recycle picked up. So the Thursday people had recycle, but they didn't get trash. The Friday people ended up getting recycle and their trash taken care of. And so it makes anybody here wonder what's going on, because this should be everybody. We are one Superior Township. We are not by segments because I don't see a wall nowhere. I don't. And all I want, are you Paul? You're not Paul, are you? Okay, so I talked to Paul the day after he was here, and I said to Paul, there's 2 things that are important: communication and service. You have to communicate. We have a responsibility here at the township to communicate, to say something instead of just waiting on priority to provide it for us, because they did not. And when I left here today, I don't think there was anything. I don't think we ever received the flyer. And service, because the residents are already don't trust. And if you give good service, you'll be successful. Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing them, we'll move on, but
Yeah, there's more. Gilda, you must speak in the mic.
You have to be on the mic.
Hmm.
I'm just, as I'm sitting here watching, and maybe this is because of my background in education, I'm not seeing you take any notes on anybody's comments, sir.
No.
Because, so that's concerning to me, you know?
He is taking.
Okay, okay, all right, thank you. I apologize.
Thank you, Gilda.
Hi, my name is Param and I live on Gulfview Drive. So my concern is that my sister is actually getting married this weekend. And if you know anything about Indian weddings, there's several functions and we're having like 100 people at our house. So it's really concerning that we already have 2 weeks worth of garbage piled up. On top of that, there's even more due to the preparations. Then we're being told that the garbage is supposedly supposed to get picked up by Saturday. We literally cannot wait until Saturday for it to get picked up. We have people already at our house. On top of that, we're being told to leave the dumpsters out on the side. Where are we supposed to have our guests park? We already have our mailboxes that we can't have blocked off. And now we need to have everyone to have access to the garbage that we're going to have to leave out on the side. Our neighborhood literally stinks. It's honestly really embarrassing for us to have guests over for a wedding and our neighborhood smells. Like, I cannot wait until Saturday. Like, I need to be told you guys are coming tomorrow to pick it up. Like, this is unacceptable. I don't even know like what to do because like we did not expect for this to happen on top of like all the wedding stress we have. This is honestly ridiculous and unacceptable. And just, I need someone to literally tell me this is getting picked up because the wedding is this weekend. We do not have time to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. So someone please just tell me it's getting picked up tonight or tomorrow because that is, what are we supposed to do? Like, what if you guys were in my shoes? Your family was getting married, you were having guests over. I'm sure you would also feel the same way. So please just step it up and do something because this is insane to me and outrageous, unacceptable. And like, I cannot. That is all I have to say. So please come through for us. Like, we literally have no one else we can ask for help. And I know I'm going overboard now, but like,
You're not going over.
so please, I'm just begging you guys at this point to please do something because we are tired of waiting. And we have literally hundreds of people coming over. We cannot let this keep happening. We're told it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They're coming. They're coming. They're not coming. So yes, I'm done. I'm sorry, but I'm done.
Good evening. My name is Lillian Jones. I live in Arbor Woods. I have an issue with an eyesore. 2 months ago, I was told by GFL to put my toilet outside. It would be picked up. Well, 2 months has passed. Someone decided to use it as a toilet. I had to add Lysol and flowers to make it look a little bit more presentable and discourage further use. So, as I indicated, 2 months has gone by. And it would be nice, I've contacted her in terms of trying to get some resolution. So when I did call priority, I was put on a loop. I was on for 15 minutes waiting for someone to pick up so that I could get a call back. It never happened. So after 15 minutes, I decided it was not worth my time. So look forward to having my eyesore.
Lillian, where do you live?
1729 Knollwood Bend. You'll notice
Yeah,
it.
you're in Arbor Woods then.
Yes.
So you have your own service through Arbor Woods. We don't supply the service to the manufactured housing communities.
Okay, well, I'm not understanding that because we had GFL before.
Well, that's because you had a private contract between Sun Communities and GFL. I don't know if they're continuing at that or not, but the
Okay.
township's contract does not apply to apartments or to manufactured housing communities.
Is it currently Priority Waste that's supposed to be picking up your trash?
That's what I was told.
Okay, so I think that her reason for being here is not necessarily because she has a direct contractor, believes it's because Priority Waste is the.
So Sam, are you servicing Arbor Woods?
GFL sold all of their residential collection.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's why she's here.
Let me say, while I can't hear all of your addresses right now.
Sam, you must talk into the mic because
Well, why don't
Thank
we
you.
wait until all the
Right.
conversation is done and then Sam, you can respond to some of the comments.
I'm Jonathan Lay. I live on Hamlet Drive or Street, whatever it is. Depends on where you look. So I work for another municipality very locally to us. And there's two things I'd like to start with. First of all, 24 hours and 45 minutes notice for posting for this facility, for this meeting. And also 5 o'clock start time for a community comment meeting. Really? We're adults. We work. I left early work today. And I'm actually here not only to speak on myself, but also on behalf of two other employees for the city of Ann Arbor that I work with, who also live in Superior, who have beef, but could not leave work early because they didn't have the luxury of their position to be able to leave early to come to this meeting to speak to you all. So my own trash as of today, supposed to be picked up on Mondays, has not been picked up yet for the third week in a row. It's Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Called on my way here. Husband reports that it has not been picked up. So it's still out at my curb. That's a problem. Why are we continuing to have multiple days to go on without our trash being picked up? No notice. And the residents are right. Why is there no actual direct communication or ability to have direct communication with the residents? I shouldn't have to go to a third-party app that is not managed, not operated, not run by or connected to the township to get communication. It's a gossip line. Nextdoor is a gossip line. Plain and simple. But you use that as your primary way to get information to us. Wrong. That is shameful. What happens to the access? What happens to the people who don't have access to Nextdoor because they don't have phones that will connect to apps?
Well,
You're just leaving them in the dirt. I don't want an excuse, Ken.
No, I'm not saying it.
So
There's a post today, but it'll be updated.
the post today, great. Where's it being posted? Nextdoor? Doesn't fix that problem. Same problem. What happens to access? You're not going to get it. But then on top of it, the note from one of my coworkers, 5 days past due bills get sent to collections. So what's up with that?
That's from GFL, Jonathan.
Doesn't matter.
That I was just told to bring that up because that was the most recent bill. She forgot to pay it. It was 5 days past due and it was sent to collections. Collections after 5 days? You're kidding me. So pick up my trash and undo your collections. You're screwing people's credit for 5 days. I'm not going to lie. This is not a rich community. Yes, we've got some bougie neighborhoods, but we are largely a poor community. We can't afford those marks. So, yeah. So these are problems, both at a township level and at a collections problem.
Yeah.
Treat your citizens better, treat your residents better, and maybe we'd like to talk to you without having to bark at you. Just saying.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Georgia Jenwright. I'm out of the Gettys Ridge subdivision. And our trash is sitting there still. And the day is Tuesday, our regular pickup, and it's never got picked up last week. And we run out of space in the cans. And so now we have bags all over the ground. And my concern also is, I heard the gentleman earlier saying about we have to buy new cans. Yeah. I purchased a can from Republic for my GFL. And as far as buying new cans, why can't they pick up the ones we got? Why can't they just pick up trash in the ones we got? Because this is ridiculous. We don't have money to every time we change service to buy new cans. And that's not right.
Thank you.
My name is Brian Clark. I live at 8600 Barrington. Obviously, there's a lot of misinformation out there. I saw on the website on my way here that you had made a post or something along those lines, which I think is great. If there's a better way to communicate as far as like email, because like everyone's saying Nextdoor and Facebook shouldn't be where everyone's getting their information. But in regards to what can happen right now, can we maybe negotiate on priority's behalf, negotiate where residents can drive their trash to GFL in situations like the young lady back there where she shouldn't have to pay to get her trash done. But on the same token, I would be willing to help her. I gave her my card. I'd be willing to help her. Like something has to be done. Trash can't just be sitting there. So, yeah, other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Brian. Anyone else? All right, so no one else at this point?
There's someone on.
Okay.
Right, oh,
All right, Steph says Getty's Ridge is going on 2 to 3 weeks of no trash pickup. I have contacted the Washtenaw County Health Department, Better Business Bureau, and the Michigan Attorney General. The health department is concerned about the lack of inaction by our supervisor. As of 5 p.m. today, still no attempt has been made to pick up trash in our neighborhood. For someone that likes to parade around how much he cares about the environment when it comes to convincing us to spend $2.5 million to procure land near his home to be underdeveloped, Mr. Swartz seems to not care.
I have a couple, one from a staff member who said, during a special meeting tonight, could you confirm with Priority Waste that they are aware of honoring the bag tag program in place for residents without monthly service accounts? And the second one, Lynette, unfortunately, we didn't receive the email about Priority Waste at today's meeting until 3 p.m. today. This is disappointing as we cannot make the meeting today with only 2 hours notice. Last week, Priority picked up our trash and our recycling with the same truck. We want to make certain that this doesn't happen again, hoping that this will get to you in time. So they picked it up with the same truck.
Any more online? Landis?
If you don't land, okay,
You gotta
Okay, 'cause I-
turn your mic on.
it is on.
There is, or?
There is. Hear
All right.
you.
Okay. So my apologies, my screen is freezing, so I'm just trying to read as fast as I can. The con man Paul Ruthenberg that attempted to sell the board the moon when pressuring the township to allow Priority to acquire the GFL contract oversaw an irate employee that threatened to return and shoot up a resident's house just 3 months after Dearborn Heights switched the GFL to Priority in 2022. Despite having an abundance of cameras affixed to their trucks to babysit the behavior of their workers, this worker wasn't fired. He was just taken off the particular route. This is an F-rated company that the township has contracted.
Is that the end, Landis?
Hmm.
All right. Anyone else want to comment?
I've got one just that someone sent to us earlier. Can you hear me? All right. To the board, thank you for holding a hearing about the continual problems of trash collection in Superior Township. We are unable to attend in person, but will join on Zoom. We wanted to email to encourage you to do whatever you can to cancel the township contract with Priority. GFL was bad. Priority isn't even picking up our trash at all. GFL often failed to pick up trash or recycling, many times skipping the entire street. We've called several times to get missed pickups. Republic was fairly reliable and we had a few difficulties with them. Over the years, we only had 2 missed pickups with them and have twice that many or more in this last year with GFL. And again, Priority has not picked up our trash last week or yet today. Even Waste Management was better than this. Please do what you can to get refunds for affected residents as well. And thanks for your consideration of this issue. Good luck.
All right. Is that the end of that, Bernie?
And then there were just a notice on complaints that you're getting internally. There were 41 calls, I guess, today. I don't know what happened with those. And then
They're slowly being returned, but they were from last week for the most part. Well, I wasn't here. So any other comments?
I have one. I spoke with I spoke with several residents over the last few days because there was.
Can you speak into your mic, please,
I'm
Rhonda?
sorry.
Pull
I
it
spoke
closer.
with several residents over the last few days with regards to this issue, and in particular, there was a individual. There was an individual who had previously had a bin that was taken and destroyed by GFL, and they were supposed to replace the bin. She had put in a ticket number. They never replaced it. And this has just been a back and forth issue. They've deleted the ticket since then. So she's due a bin to her residence, similar to Mr. Thomas's complaint around his bin issue. So promises have been made by GFL that were not kept, and I feel, very passionately that these are now issues that you should be taking care of for these residents. I do have an address I can give offline to you for that resident. But just I shared with the board, I went out and just drove the neighborhood yesterday and saw all of the trash, took several pictures, met the Genwright family, met several families along the way. And the health and safety issue is of utmost concern to me. The maggots, the mice and rats, the raccoons that are becoming a total hindrance to our neighborhoods. And we have to get this resolved. We were told this was going to be caught up by July 4th. And here we are on July 9th, and nothing has been caught up. Our attorney was told yesterday that they thought that they were caught up. And I had to call his bluff on that and say, no, they're not. And that is why I went out into the community to take the pictures, because it was very evident that it doesn't even feel like anyone has attempted. So I'm just at a point, I'm at a boiling point for my community. I'm at a boiling point for myself. But we have to have answers. We need something, because the priority was in business long before you all took over GFL. So that's just where I'm at right now.
So I'd like to counter what Rhonda's saying. I live on the north side of the township. Can you hear me? So as she was going through neighborhoods south of Getty's, she called me and we were talking, and I said, well, I'll go through my neighborhood. I'll go through some of the other neighborhoods, Tanglewood and Glenboro, to see how things are going there, because I'm thinking I'm going to see the same stuff. Our neighborhood was absolutely clean. No trash bins out. Tanglewood, same. Glenboro, same. I did see some on your street, Ken. I thought, okay.
Well, we didn't get service.
Hickman didn't, but I went through a lot of the neighborhoods. And that's where, sometimes people are asking, why are we trying to create this north versus south sort of issue here? There is an issue here. We have to deal with it. We have to deal with it as this township as one township, but it doesn't always look that way. And garbage is very visible. So I get where people are very angry tonight. They should be.
All right, thank you. So, Eric.
Eric Eels, 9255 Arlington Drive, Ypsilanti, Michigan. I want to touch on Rhonda's point in that when I grew up out in Chelsea and worked on a farm, we had critters. Here now, today, we are urban, but we're not like Detroit. But we're getting to the point where we have more population and our garbage is becoming a problem. Then you have also the farm line. I live on Getty's Road. I look at the farm line across from me. When they cut that field, I know what's going to happen. The critters come out, okay? And they can do some real damage. I had a one rat in the house. I caught it myself, but it took me a while. And it had already gotten to the garbage disposal. It had already gotten to the stove. I'm telling you what, the walls, the holes that damn thing chewed, one rat And the guy said, you were lucky it was only one. And if you want an idea on how to take care of that problem, don't hesitate. It's a metal catch-it trap. Use dog food and give the damn thing a swimming test. But when you pick that cage up, don't grab that handle. Their nose is so long they can get right in and bite you. You got to use a pair of pliers to pick up that handle and go give it a swimming test.
Eric the Exterminator. Oh, sorry.
I have a comment.
Sorry, one more. Leona Foster, Tanglewood Drive. I'm the president of the HOA in the Tanglewood Creekside subdivision. There's a flyer going around and it caused me to think of two things. One is several people in our subdivision have had their automatic payments already sucked out by GFL and they're asking, where's the money go? And are we ever going to get it credited appropriately? There's a lot of disconcerting, and they've had to launch investigations with their banks and credit card companies to stop payment, but they're not able to do that. So that's one thing. Secondly, Ken, earlier this year in multiple meetings, I stood up here and said, are the bins going to be stickered to clearly say trash versus recycling? I know in our subdivision, most of the bins are blue, both trash and recycling. How can the guys or gals or whoever's driving the truck know which is which? And you assured us that we were going to have stickers. They never materialized. This is well before the changeover. I'm just hoping that Priority will re-sticker these clearly with a big sticker that says trash and one that says recycling, because you can't tell these bins apart. Thank you.
Thank you, Leona.
Hello, my name is Kim Harding, and I live on Ascot Drive. And I just wanted to know if we were getting the priority waste and then we read that their trucks weren't working, how come that issue wasn't taken care of before they took the contract with them? You know, if your trucks aren't working, then then we're not going to get our trash picked up. Are they going to be using the arm? Or what? Are they going to have an arm? Because GFL, they were throwing the trash bags into the garbage, into the truck. And I was like, what are they doing at a 5:30 pickup on a Tuesday night? That's unacceptable. We live right behind all of this forest, and we have had rats going through our backyard and possums and everything going through the backyard, getting to garbage on our street. So I just wanted to know, why was the contract made and there's no trucks? That's ridiculous to even take them. I mean, GFL maybe had one truck. I never seen more than two trucks. They've tore down branches at one lady's house next door and never came back and had it fixed. Like Republic did that, and they came back with a person and cut the arm off all the way. So they cut the tree branch off and that was fine. But this lady's branch is still laying in her yard because she's about 70 and she just said she can't move it. So hopefully if you have the arm and you break a tree, you'll come back and fix it. But I just don't understand the whole reasoning about getting priority waste and they have no trucks.
Anybody else?
I had something, as I said earlier. Are you all? Oh, sorry about that, Emily.
Hi, Emily Dabish-Yakind, and my comments are similar.
Speak into the mic, Emily, please.
Sure.
Thanks.
My comments are similar to those in this room, but just in terms of what we can do moving forward, I think that making sure that we're not relying folks to use digital access and the internet to understand what's going on is important. I know that we can try to figure things out through the website, but not everyone gets an email. Not everyone is on Nextdoor. Maybe if there's a way to send out a postcard or mailer with updates would be an effective way to get the news across. And also, I do think it's important to not have meetings at 5 p.m. with folks here rushing after work. And also, I think that for something that is so community oriented, to have more lead time for individuals to get together and share their thoughts and not necessarily throw them in front of the board would be a better fit. But Thank you for doing this, and I do hope that we see some improvements soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have another.
You have one online?
Yep, from Natasha Allen. My name is Natasha Allen. I live on Gulfview Drive. It has been now 14 days since our trash was picked up. There are flies, maggots buzzing around it because my dogs waste bugs. I was charged the full amount by GFL for June, even though our trash hasn't been picked up since June 25th. I want to see a credit from Priority Waste for every week they are not picking up my trash, and insurance I would not be paying for a new bin. I also want the township to give information for how residents who don't use Nextdoor to get updates. This is unacceptable, and I don't think the trustees need reminding that this is an election year. Fix this. Do your jobs. Thank you.
I have a comment.
Hold on.
You have another one, Brian?
I just want to reiterate that it'd be very beneficial if someone is going to take the lead on billing, because in other communities, there have been people, someone already mentioned getting sent to collection. Someone needs to take the lead on billing because it's going to be a disaster.
So if I can comment as a board member, and as an official, I'm very, very upset for many reasons. I do not like to be placed in a position where I get an email saying garbage will be picked up on the 4th. I was very impressed. And then no garbage was picked up on the 4th of July. I posted that to these residents, and I don't appreciate being placed in a position where I'm not providing them the truth. When you do a transition plan, you got to give us something. We're in a position where we don't have information either, and I don't like being in it. We had nothing from you guys. I've been begging for information so that we can post on the website all the things that you all are mentioning out there. We have nothing from you. We can't give you anything until we get it from Priority. Canton has as you gave, and by the way, Trustee McGill, thank you for calling this meeting. Now, you may feel that this meeting was rushed. It was, but we have a board meeting on Monday. There was a need to contact and talk to our residents because they were complaining so much. So we decided to give you a meeting. Could have been later, yeah. But we tried to give you a meeting, and for the number of people in here, this is nothing compared to what's going on. I walk over in Bromley Park. What you all are not mentioning is that hydraulic fluid, it's what you call it?
Yeah.
Y'all have that now. That wasn't there before. You know, as I'm walking through each street, which I do, I see some of the residents, you can just see the flow of fluid on all the streets from the trucks that are broken. So I would appreciate by tomorrow getting something so we can post on the website so that we can get something out to the residents. Because if we keep you, if we don't, the bottom line is everybody deserves respect. And they're not getting it, and nor are we as a board.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to make a comment? Yes.
I'm Glenn Thomas. I've been listening to everybody here, and I have a question for the board. Why isn't the board or the township taking care of paying the trash people so that when they don't perform, we can cut their bill by $1 million and say, pick it up or fix it? You guys can go ahead and add that bill into our property taxes. Do something. We have no leverage with these people.
Right.
You guys do. If you pay it, let's say it's $12 million a year. You hold back $1 million, they're going to respond. They don't respond to us.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Anything online, Landis? Anybody else have any comments? I just want to kind of go back and tell the residents kind of what's happened over the last 2 years. So for like 10 years, we had Republic. And most people were very satisfied with Republic. Republic always did have a problem here or there, but they were pretty attentive to taking care of things. So I called Republic in August of 2022 because our contract was going to be renewed October 1st. And when I called them, they told me, oh, we were just going to call you. We're no longer going to be in the residential pickup business. We're going to have to drop you. And I was like, really? When? September 1st. And October 1st. That's 6 weeks away. So we got negotiated. They gave us to October 31st. That rushed us into the RFP, and we got some bids on RFP. One was very expensive from Waste Master. Then we had one from Priority and also one from GFL. GFL was the least expensive, and they came back at least as qualified as Priority at that time. Had I known that they were packaging their business for sale, I would have never went with them. But ever since GFL came in, we've had nothing but problems, missing subdivisions, missing streets. I became friends with Mary Dean because I talked to her every day at GFL. She was fairly responsive. I talked to Sam a lot, but there was all sorts of issues with GFL. And then we get a note in June, I think like June 7th or June 8th, that they were selling out. GFL was selling out to Priority. We reached out to Priority, as Lynette said, and we got no information because Priority was selling us. We're not getting any information from GFL. So we're like in an information vacuum over here. How do we service our residents when we don't have the information ourselves? So the contract provided for an assignment. And as our attorney said, you could not withhold the assignment unless you had really good cause. So not to disrupt the garbage flow, we approved the assignment, and July 1st was the test date. And unfortunately, Priority has failed on that big time. I mean, all of us at the township are answering calls all day long about the situation. All day. And you know what, to explain things to people are relatively satisfied, but they really want this garbage picked up by the end of the week and get onto a normal schedule next week and keep to it. And I have to agree with Lynette. She can tell you, I don't agree with Lynette a whole lot, but I 100% agree with Lynette on what she said tonight. We've been stuck without getting any information that we can transmit to our residents. And that's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Like, what's going on? Well, we don't know. Why don't you know? Nobody's telling us anything. And we have contracts. So I'm looking forward to Sam from Priority to get up and explain what's going on and make the promises that we need to hear and then fulfill those promises. So Sam?
And that people listen very nicely.
Well, good evening, Sam Caramagno with Priority Waste. I understand your concerns. They are all legitimate concerns, and there are certain things that we could and could not say leading to the sale of work from GFL to Priority Waste. There were certain limitations that GFL wanted to impose, and until the transaction was complete, Priority Waste was not allowed to reach out to GFL customers, part of the sale agreement. I've taken some notes down, and I didn't get all of your addresses, but I will get them all in the back of the room when we're done speaking here. And we will do our best to make sure your trash service and yard waste service this week is adhered to. Let me start with a couple of notes I've got. Well, let me tell you first. Priority Waste is a Michigan-based company based in the east side, Clinton Township. It has been a rough start for Priority Waste. We took over the trucks just prior to the holiday on this side of town and on the east side of town, as well as the Pontiac north side of town. GFL sold all of their assets, all of their contracts from Flint south. There were 74 of them. So we're in the process of putting 74 contracts together and attempting to maintain the service. The way the trucks were handed over to us is far from what I would have expected between two big companies working together. I could go into that in great detail, but when you have actively working trucks that are brought to one location, and you have disabled trucks brought to the same location, towed there, and parked in front of active working trucks with no means to get these trucks on the road, that creates a tremendous delay. That action there is despicable and has caused tremendous delays for us. We're working through that. I can tell you on the way here, I know I've heard from a couple folks that their Monday trash has not been collected. I know it's Tuesday, but they were nearing completion of Monday and working into Tuesday on your trash collection. Yard waste this week is indeed behind. We'll be working through Saturday to get caught up this week. Lynette mentioned 4th of July. Yes, we worked last week. About midweek, I realized we were having trouble. I talked to the CEO of the company. I said, we need to work 4th of July. We need to work that holiday. We grabbed whatever employees we could that were willing to work, and we put trucks on the road, not only in Superior Township, but Scioto Township and other communities off to the east of here. We put out what we could to try to catch up. We did work Saturday. We did work Sunday last week. So those that weren't collected, I apologize. We did make an effort. It's not like we said the heck with it and just didn't go out. We went out on the holiday and on Sunday to get what we could. I again apologize if you were not collected. This week, again, post-holiday week, we've got trucks working. You are behind. We're working through it. There's trucks actively working in town right now as we speak. Let me start with a couple of notes I got here. Your trash carts are your trash carts. You do not have to buy trash carts. You will not have to buy trash carts. Those that need trash carts because it's damaged, we will replace those trash carts free of charge. So take that myth out of the mix right now. You do not have to buy $200 worth of trash carts. Okay. You can say Sam
Please
Caremagno.
repeat her question because she's not at the mic. Can you repeat the question? Because there are people that.
The question was,
Make his presentation, then we can take questions from the audience.
the question was, can you say Sam said you'll replace my cart? Yes, you can say that. Okay. I'm comfortable telling you that. Yes, I will. Okay. I talked to you about the equipment troubles. Yes, there have been tremendous equipment troubles. I can't say with certainty about the equipment, but I'm telling you, when a transaction takes place, the seller oftentimes puts their hands behind their back and closes their eyes. So when you get this equipment, it appears that many repairs were not completed and these trucks were handed to us in terrible, terrible shape. In a means to address that, we have those trucks now at our facility in Romulus that services Superior Township. We have rental trucks that we procured. We've got more rental trucks coming this week and more rental trucks coming next week to subsidize our fleet to make sure we've got trucks available to service the communities that we're contracted with. We do have the appropriate amount of employees. Many employees were hired from GFL. Many others are being hired right now just as surplus. But we do have employees, and it is just a shame that we have to send employees home every day because we don't have the available trucks to collect your trash or yard waste this week. We're working on that. I got some oil spills on Devon Street and Bromley Park, I think. I will send someone out tomorrow to look at that and see what we can do about cleaning those oil spills up. I will also tell you, in the world of rubbish collection, all of the trucks are equipped with GPS tracking devices, so we can see where the trucks have been. We can see where the trucks have not been, and we can direct them back to an area that may have been missed. Okay. Again, it just infuriates me. These trucks that were handed to us, the GPS units were pulled out of these trucks, pulled out of the trucks and given to us. So we're virtually blind watching these trucks. It is completely absurd that was done on the eve of giving us these trucks. That is also contributing to this problem. Believe me, we have heart and want to get the job done properly and correctly. But when that happened, it makes it difficult. Believe me when I tell you. Limited collection, I wrote down here. You have obviously biweekly trash or yard waste and recycle offsetting. So we're on the compost week. We'll have trucks out to get that compost collected. Route manager coverage. It's clear to me that I got to get a route manager out here tomorrow on a pickup truck, drive through the complete Monday section, drive through the complete Tuesday section, see what is and has not been missed, and dispatch trucks to that area to get it done. That's something we'll do. Your bag and tag system for non-customers, non-paying customers. Your bag and tag system is active, is working. And if it's a problem, please let us know. We'll make sure that the drivers are aware bag and tag is still an eligible program. Mixing trash and recycle. I'm very disappointed to hear that. That will be a meeting we'll have with all the employees about mixing trash and recycle. That is never, ever appropriate or allowed. And if it happens occasionally, we'll address that on a case-by-case basis with the driver, with the helper on the truck. I heard about a Dearborn Heights camera situation. Now, I was not with Priority Waste when that happened. I was with GFL back in that time, but I have heard about this story. The GFL trucks, or the Priority Waste trucks, they will all eventually be equipped with 4 to 6 cameras, front, sides, back, facing the driver. It will monitor the activity of the truck, and it'll be watched from our Clinton Township master office where they've got screens at least as wide as your building here with attendants watching all the activities of our trucks. I can tell you what I've heard is that incident in Dearborn Heights, there were a lot of allegations, a lot of claims. The cameras absolved our driver. Our driver did no wrong there. And there was never any follow-up by the police on that case. A lot of complaints, but the cameras proved our driver to be correct in that situation. Now that will be interesting. Those cameras are good for many reasons. You may see things you don't like. You may see people that say my trash was missed and they didn't have it out at the curb at 8:30 in the morning. We're going to see those things too, but we'll get through that. That's down the road. The trucks do not have cameras right now. They're installing about a dozen a day right now. It's going to take some time because we bought 500 GFL trucks. It's going to take a little time to get cameras and everything. Again, I think there's a table back there, so I'm going to sit back there when we're done. And I'll take all of your addresses, and please know that we're behind. By the end of the week, we're going to get picked up. I'm very interested in the wedding address. I want to make sure that gets done right away. That's a significant event in someone's life. I want to make sure that gets addressed and addressed promptly. Not to dismiss any of your other issues, but I want to get this picked up.
So Sam, I just got to quickly make this comment. I appreciate everything you said, but that doesn't pick the garbage up, what you said. What you said is not picking the garbage up. Taking a list of people in this room, it's a whole lot of people that are not in this room. The garbage needs to be picked up. What I'm asking you to do, start on the south side of Gettys Road. Get the garbage picked up immediately. Because you're starting on the same side. That's why they get missed. Get the garbage picked up. You having a truck go through to assess, they could be picking the garbage up while they're assessing. It's garbage all over. I walk through the neighborhoods. Please, just what you can do for these people today, just say, I'm going to have your garbage, especially that young lady that has a wedding and the taxes, there's 5 days on collections. That's deplorable. Get it fixed now.
But
That's what, you got some good trucks. You just got some broken trucks. Get your good trucks and get over there to get everything fixed. That's what would make these people happy. That was what would make me happy.
I agree, Lynette. All I'm doing is responding to questions here. We're going to have trucks. Like I said, I started out. Most of your Monday section, from what I was told when I walked in this room, most of your Monday section was complete today. Trash.
Most what?
Most of your Monday collection area.
Monday.
Which is your south end of town. Okay. Most of the money collection was done. I will make sure someone's out there watching that, make sure it is done. We're moving into Tuesday collection today. We won't finish tonight. But believe me, we're gonna have trucks that are gonna get this garbage picked up.
Okay.
So Sam, what I'd like to say is, I think the people are upset in many ways, not with priority as much as we had such a terrible time the last 3 months with GFL. And GFL, maybe
that's
they
not
weren't
true.
square with you guys when you on the sale. You're picking up a lot of the flack that probably should be directed towards GFL. I really hope you are
You
able.
can, let's be careful there.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait. Sit, Gilda, you're out of order. Please sit down. Yeah, that's fine. Well, wait, you haven't let me finish. Well,
You're
sit
not
down,
at the
you're out
mic,
of order.
Gilda.
But there was 3 months, the last 3 months, it probably took 300 phone calls, all directed because of GFL. And then Paul came in and Paul, made it sound like there won't be any problems at all. And then the first day I'm on vacation, I'm getting phone calls, things aren't happening. And I call Paul and Paul tells me we're going to have people working on the 4th and we should have things all picked up by the end of the week. And then it didn't. They didn't pick mine up. Mine's sitting out there, and people who have trash for 2 or 3 weeks out there, that's a health issue. It really needs to be done. So can you promise the board you'll have it done by the end of the week?
I think I
Yes.
just asked for that.
Yes, I can promise that. Please know, people, please know that GFL has been Priority Waste has been servicing your community. This is the 7th day, number 7. So anything prior to 7 days, it was a GFL situation where GFL was not picking up your trash. So anything that was missed last week is solely a Priority Waste problem. Anything that was missed Monday is solely a Priority Waste problem. Anything prior to July 1st was a GFL issue. I can't control that right now. I haven't been able to control a GFL issue for a long time. But please understand, this is day 7 for Priority Waste here. And I'm telling you that by the end of this week, I will ensure that your trash and your yard waste is collected.
Now I have another question because this has been coming in today. Where there's an emergency directive by the county today, we're expecting 4 inches of rain. Tomorrow they're calling it a monsoon day. What should people do if they got their craft bags out at the curb? Are they
Go
going
get
to
blue tarps and
or should they
put
be
over.
pulled back into the garage?
Yard waste, please leave your yard waste at the curb. As always, when it rains, yard waste can get tricky in craft paper bags. Leave it at the curb. We're going to pick it up. Leave it at the curb, please. Do not take it back and forth to your house, your trash or your yard waste. Please leave it at the curb. So when we come by, we get it picked up.
All right.
Well, they can't now because it's full of maggots and rats.
Well, the yard waste should be full of maggots, but the
The
garbage
yard waste is
definitely could.
full of-
We're not going to leave any trash that has maggots in it. We're not leaving that.
All right. Okay. Now, first, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to clarify one thing. When you were here, when.
You guys
Paul-
speak into the mic, please.
Paul was here last week. One of the things that
You're not speaking into the mic.
I think I'm loud enough.
No,
People
it's
know.
not about being loud. It's about
I
recording.
understand. I'm
Thank
just
you.
kidding.
Please announce yourself, who you are.
Thank you,
Oh,
Lisa.
I'm Fred Lucas. I'm the attorney for the township. When you were here last week, or not you, but Paul was here last week, Paul indicated that people who had paid the bill for GFL were not going to be billed again for priority. I just want to clarify that so the people because that was one of the complaints that we'd heard here, was that they were concerned that they had just paid the bill and that they had not, weren't going to get service. And that's what Paul had indicated to us, that there would be no double billing for the services. Could you please confirm that for them?
Sure, I'll confirm that. There'll be no double billing. If you pay GFL for your services, that money transaction will take place mid-July. They're gonna do a reconciliation. So if you've paid your bill, you've paid your bill. Your money gets applied to your waste service or priority waste.
Sam, how will residents be aware of that if they're not attending this meeting?
The money will be applied. If they've paid their bill, their money will be applied. They should not see anything or know anything.
So there will be an updated / revised bill that'll be sent to those residents?
The next billing will come from priority.
So Sam, how about people who have automatic debit? What should they do? They have an automatic debit to GFL. They've been asking that today. I told them I'd cancel it. I don't know what the proper answer is to that.
I don't know that information. I'm assuming that information has been transferred to Priority Waste. Whatever information GFL has, they have to transfer that information over to Priority Waste for billing purposes, as well as any funds from July forward are due to Priority Waste.
And I think Paul answered that in our meeting and said that that would occur, that they will not be double billed.
No, you will
So
not be
that
double
question
billed.
has been answered.
But can't that be in the printout or whatever information we're going to post? So people will know that. And if you do like Ms. Dabish Yakine said, you can send a postcard to everybody. I mean, this is,
I think we have to.
the key is really communication. And I think that will help a great deal.
And
Well-
Sam, I'm sorry, Sam, I have one more question. Is it going to be going forward that there is going to be a 5-day send to a collection if a bill is not paid? That just seems like that is astronomical. I've never heard of 5 days late sent to a collection agency.
I think they did that because they were closing out, trying to get something.
Priority is not going to adopt that, are they?
I don't believe we are. I think we've got language in the contract for the terms, but no, I think that sounds excessive.
Okay, thank you.
So Sam, if somebody continues.
You got to talk into the mic.
If somebody continues with an automatic debit to GFL and they don't change it, that will ultimately end up going to Priority and they'll receive the credit.
They'll receive Priority will receive the funds for the service. Yes.
All right. Fred, you got something you want to say?
I know I received, and I think that everybody, I forwarded it to the board, these, flyers that came
Mhm.
from, Priority. I think that, has this been posted on the website?
No.
Okay.
Just got this.
I would think that it'd be important that this be posted on the website, the information that was provided to us this afternoon, which was the first time we've seen that information. And, the other,
I was about to say, we can nicely reword it.
pardon?
We can reword it.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just saying, but that information should be, I would recommend we put that on the website. And also, I would recommend that you send out a postcard to the residents indicating what, that information also.
So that was one of the reasons I called this meeting. Because in the past, and I believe it was with GFL when they took over the service.
Absolutely.
They did a mass mailing to all of
It's
our
their job.
residents that explained pretty much this.
Thank you,
So
Rhonda.
we had our last meeting when Paul attended. If you guys that were here
He said he
remember me
was gonna do it.
asking, I specifically asked about communications because I had a feeling that this is what was going to happen.
Yep.
And I'll be damned, here we are. So it's ultimately on Priority, I believe,
It is their job to do it.
to put together and craft the communication for the residents to get this out because they're paying you for the service.
And that needs to be immediate.
And that should have happened.
That's, yeah. We were told it was going to
I
happen.
asked that question to Paul, I believe, and Paul said they didn't have the information from GFL that they could send out to people.
This here is the information.
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about like.
Addresses.
So part of the
Do
problem
they-
is GFL was not communicating with Priority. Neither was communicating with us because Priority had nothing to tell us. And GFL was kind of out in left field and they weren't really communicating with us at that point.
The bottom line, that's not our issue.
Yeah.
Here, that isn't, but I think what our issue is, and I would recommend that before anything goes out to the residents, that Priority meet with somebody from the township, which this board appoints, to make sure that the information contained on that covers the points that we want to make sure are covered.
Absolutely.
The points relative to the no double billing, no charge for replacement of those sorts of financial concerns that the residents have. I think it would make sense for somebody on the board before that mailing goes out, that you review it and approve it so that you're satisfied that the correct information is getting out to the individuals.
Correct.
All right, Sam, do you have anything else you want to say in your
Well,
presentation?
If I can just interject with Sam, with that communication, When can we expect that?
I'll take this back to our department and develop something for a proofread from.
Some of us will work with you to get it, so you can all send it out to each resident, each,
We should have,
household.
we should have information for most residents through their account. So
Yes.
we can utilize that as well. The
Okay.
exact details of how that works, that's not necessarily not my bag, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that.
As long as there's a communication line, the biggest thing is a communication plan for rolling this out.
Yeah.
And that was what was requested. The board, I think, is definitely open to supporting and helping in any way that we can, but we have to have the communication. In addition to that, I also wanted to point out that there was a lot of questions that were asked of, I believe it was Paul,
Oh.
by Irma last week, and we still don't have any answers. And I think this would have probably helped us over a week ago, because she did take a proactive approach with asking the questions that we're sitting here now trying to get the answers to still. And if we would have had those, we probably could have sent out a mass communication to the residents. I don't know what other ways. I have ideas of ways we can better communicate with residents, but that's neither here nor there tonight. But we, in doing that, we probably could have been ahead of this a little bit more. So, I'm not sure how you all do it in other communities when you're doing your rollout, but whoever your communications person is, if you don't have one, you need to get one, because this here has been a nightmare for us all. And after looking at the news yesterday and seeing you all highlighted with the problems under the Help Me Hank section, I was further disturbed. And it just feels like there's a lack of coordination and communication with all of your communities.
Well, thank you. I'll work with our communications team. We'll get something cooking there. I want you all to understand that we certainly are not targeting any specific community. We are not splitting any communities. We are not doing anything in that nature. You see, we've had concerns from Waterford down to Wyandotte over to Superior Township, Scioto Township. So we've had our bit of challenges, generally from the things I explained earlier, and a learning curve. We're going to get better. We need to get better for you and your residents, and we will get better.
Next week, we hope.
Yes.
Okay.
No, this
So-
week.
All right, no, wait a minute.
This
Wait a minute.
week.
Just one more.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Hold on, please.
Yoda. Sam, are you done with your presentation? Because we're going to open it back up to the audience so that they can ask questions.
I just have one more question. Lynette had asked you when we would get this communication plan. So you're talking about what we're going to get, but when will we get it?
Before the end of this week, we can go through it. I'm willing to sit down with whomever in your communications department to go through it, because the residents need to be informed and we need to get a mailer out.
And that's a reasonable timeframe. So
Thank
I'll take
you.
this back tomorrow, maybe even tonight if I get out in a reasonable time, and I'll get this back and say, here's what we need to do. We need to detail something out to your residents related to your contract and service specifications, and answer the questions that are pertinent.
Thank you.
Does the board have any more questions of Sam?
No, Sam, I will just forward the emails that I sent to Paul yesterday. It has all of the neighborhoods in it that you were discussing earlier. I will forward those emails to you. I don't know if Paul gave them to you. You were on one of them, but there are several.
Okay, I'll take a look, and if you forward it again to me, I'll turn it on to
I'll
the
make
people
sure
that can
that
make a
you have
difference.
them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. So we're going to open it up for comments from the audience, one comment apiece that you can either ask a question or make a comment or do both. Yoda.
Gilda Miles, Oak Brook subdivision. Sam, just question, maybe I heard you correctly. Did you not say you worked with GFL? Is that correct? So again, and I'm just saying this, my background is education and I'm teaching the young folks, and we learn from things that we do. If you have that experience, Sam, would that not have been helpful? And as you're coming to a community like this, and if you know that they didn't have the trucks, where was somebody, like if I'm looking at the budget of my house, I have to say, okay, I got to sacrifice this because this is more important right now. And I'm sorry, Ken, I hear what you're saying, and you're saying GFL, but we are the people in this community who are not getting what we pay our taxes for, just a service. And then I come and I hear the comments that you're saying, Sam. And again, you're that corporate level guy, right? Have you had the opportunity to go out with any of the drivers? Are we working and putting in overtime after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock to get the trash picked up? This is what I hear this community saying is what's needed. And if you work for GFL, you were aware that they didn't have good trucks. So when Priority took over, we should have said, we got to make sure these trucks are working, or y'all going to have to pay us the money to get them so they can working. That's the frustration that I'm hearing as I'm sitting here hearing, which oftentimes happens in politics. And that's why I guess I didn't get into it. It's passing the buck. Say I messed up. Say we're going to fix it. We're going to pick up your trash tonight. I'm on the phone right now. Hey, you got to get out there tonight to get this done. Then you're going to have people like me and the people who have maggots in their trash can saying, you know what? Priority is seeing us as a priority. They are trying to get the job done. And I'm not sure I totally hear that. And Ken, I'm sorry. Don't be kissing or saying that GFL is doing all that and they're not. Don't say Priority is doing all that and they're not. We are residents in this community and we are frustrated because we have crap sitting in our yards, rodents. I'm hearing rats nibbling at my siding because of something that I did not do incorrectly. So that's the frustration that I have with this system, and it needs to stop today.
Thank you, Yoda.
Let me address a couple things. The truck maintenance, while I was at GFL, this was certainly not my responsibility. I had oversight in different areas. I'm just telling you what some of the problems were. When you ask, do I work long hours? Do I work on a truck? I can assure you, I'm a 42-year garbage man. Started on the back of the truck and worked there for many years. I know what these people are doing. I know the hardship they're going through right now. Believe me, my heart is in this. I am committed to getting your service resurrected.
Hi, my name's Jan Wiseman, and I'm a resident of Geddes Ridge, 9046 Arlington Drive. One comment, one question. Well, let's start with the question. So we're talking a lot about this week's pickup, and we're a week behind now in Geddes Ridge. Most of us have both our garbage and our recycling and our yard waste out. I'm not hearing anything about yard waste or about recycling from last week. And are we just to assume that we're skipping a week? I can tell you from my recycling bin that it's full. It needs, and if I have to wait until next week, it's gonna be a hardship. The comment that I have is with communication. I think that just as part of that communication plan, there really needs to be a list of FAQs for people with these questions. What happens to my billing? What happens to the automatic payments? What happens to my bin if it needs to be replaced? So that all of these questions that we're hearing, it's not just a flyer with things printed out, but what are those FAQs that people are really interested in? Thank you.
Thank you.
Georgia Jenwright from Geddes Ridge on Ascot. Now Sam said that everything before the 1st was GFL. Our pickup is 2 weeks, and our pickup was after July 1st. So we were missing Priority for 2 weeks. And my other question is, how many people investigated before they signed a contract? Who signed the contract? How many people had to sign this contract?
We were already.
Can
in
you,
the contract.
Fred's gonna answer that. Yeah.
One thing that everyone has to understand is that the township does not control the relationship between GFL and Priority. The contract that was signed was a contract with GFL. We were told that GFL was selling out and that unless there was an assumption of that contract by Priority, there would have been no contract at all for waste services in this community because GFL ceased to exist essentially as of July 1st. quite candidly, would I prefer to have had more lead time relative to this issue?
Yes.
Absolutely. But we did not have any lead time. I mean, we were at the last meeting and that's when we heard, first time I really had known about the, and I think the board also was the first time that they had heard about the situation with GFL. So who signed the contract? The original contract with GFL was approved by the board, but that was in 2022. All right. And that contract is due up in 2025, if I remember correctly. So we were based really, and this is an opportunity before this next contract comes up and comes due. They will have the opportunity to review not only Priority's ability, and this is a referendum on their actions and for future contracts for them, but also to review those opportunities with any other companies that may wish to bid on the process going forward. Now, what I was going to say, and I wanted to talk to the board about here, was I think what we can do right now is address those items which the residents feel should be included in that communication that's going to be going out. And I've made a very short list, but I think we should add to that as we go through, because that was what the FAQ that we received in FAQ and which the board has gotten just today, as I said. But the items that I've heard as I was sitting back there listening related to billing, number one, an explanation, because there is confusion by individuals who believe that they've paid and now they're going to have to pay again. So that should be clarified. The issue of fees in terms of costs for replacement of service of containers, that should be clarified, that there will be no additional charges and containers will be provided at free of cost. I think the billing, I think that there should be a discussion about making sure that the residents have a phone number for a person, not a answering service, that will respond to their concerns and put that in the communication.
By the way, they did say they had 3 people.
Yep. So, I mean, I think that should be something that we want to include. And again, if there is other items, I think now as a constructive means, because look, we can sit here and complain about priority all we want.
Yeah.
What we have to do really is to come up with constructive suggestions on how to solve the problem going forward. And if there are other things that should be put in that communication, this is the time to make sure that we identify those so that the board can do that for you and put that in so that all the residents get that. But the bottom line is this the ideal situation from this board standpoint? No, it certainly wasn't. But it was a situation that the board was placed in for reasons beyond their control. And that's not to excuse priority, but it is a situation that the board had. And we have to work and try to resolve the problems as quickly and as efficiently as we can and to address the concerns. And I know that this board wants to do that. That's why they called. And by the way, I would point out one thing. Ms. McGill, Trustee McGill was the one, and is it beneficial? Does this the way that they like to schedule meetings? No. But the concerns that were raised were of such magnitude and of such concern that Trustee McGill took it upon herself to request that, that this be done. And I think rather than complaining about the fact that it was done on such a spur of the moment, she should be thanked for having the foresight to call this meeting as she did.
Yes.
And I thank her for that.
Thank you.
But I think that really going forward, what we really need to focus on is instead of, number one, providing this gentleman with all of the addresses that for the people that were here so that those specific things, and I'm not saying that just to saying, look, those are the only ones that he should take care of, but at least he can focus. And if he goes to the one, he's got to know that the neighbor next to him didn't get picked up either. Okay. So giving him those addresses tonight.
It's all the neighborhoods, Fred.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Okay. It's not just an address.
We
It's
have-
every
we have
single
a lot of-
house.
But
Okay.
if he's got the address of the
Can't start with
people,
one, cherry picking.
they'll know where the neighborhoods are that are having.
We
these.
also
Gave it to
have a
him.
list from Irma Golden with
Right.
all of the complaints that she's received.
Yep.
And it has the addresses, so
Okay.
we can also
Well,
make sure that
perfect.
he receives that as well.
But like I said, I just would like to focus, I think it would be beneficial to focusing on how to resolve the problem. We know that there are problems.
You do.
You guys have heard it all week long, over the holiday.
All week?
Yeah.
More than a week.
Well, GFL before that, but
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
First.
July 1. What's today's date?
July 9th, July 1st.
Fred, all of us up here, we're also customers of Priority.
I know.
And my garbage wasn't picked up last week and I wasn't happy about it. And we want to see things done for ourselves and for the residents.
I'm aware of that fact. That's why I'm suggesting rather.
Ken,
I
there's
would-
very few garbage cans on where you're referring to. I think the majority, and it has been tested and proven, are on the south side of Getty's Road.
So Fred, thank you, because I was sitting down thinking about what we need right now, or what maybe I need right now for the calls that are coming in. And one of them is the phone number that people can call. We have the young lady where there's going to be a wedding, but there is a resident in new construction on Stonehenge for 1 month. She's been waiting for the carts. And she has 1 month, and that her name and address is on that list. And I promised her I would find a phone number for her to get her carts. She has no carts. 1 month of garbage and recycle in her garage right now. So that is another one of those that right now I just need a number, a resolution for her. She called me last week and she called me today. And I said a number, and you also mentioned about billing. My thought was about the GPS. If the GPS was stolen, in some of these areas, could it have been the GPS the reason why they didn't do Wexford and Glen Hill? I don't know. But if the GPS is missing, we need to get that done. The other thing is, and there are people waiting that do not have carts. We have the one resident on Stonehenge, and there was 2 other residents that called me. Their carts were damaged, and GFL picked them up and put them on a truck. So now they don't have anything. That's, to me, is sort of an emergency, and I would like to know a solution for those people where they're not calling an 855 number and waiting 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. I don't want to do it.
And being hung
So
up
just
on.
a solution for that.
And being hung up on.
Yeah, and Fred, thank you, because it is about those immediate things we need right now. I need a number because I'm the one that's going to get the calls. I'm getting the calls. And then I need to tell people where they can call to get the cards, and also those immediate answers right now about billing. Because if I'm talking to somebody tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I need to be able to address that and put it to bed.
Thank you. Another, I just one more of the concerns that I've totally overlooked was there was a question from a resident with regards to the total weight of the trash containers.
Yeah.
If it was because they are now overstuffed, and
Right.
some of them have had to put trash bags on the side of their trash can because they haven't been picked up. They want to make sure that they're not going to be charged or that they're going to drive past their.
No charge, they'll be collected.
All right. Jonathan? Jonathan,
Believe you me.
you got the floor.
Sorry, kiddo scared the crap out of me. It's Jonathan Lay again from on Hamlet Drive. Couple of a comment, and I got a couple of recommendations. One, thank you for your presentation. However, a lot of that stuff was you problem. Like, you knew this contract was being taken over. You knew it was coming. Why didn't you staff up in preparation for it? You're a logistics company. Ultimately, is what it comes down to. You parked the trucks in the wrong order. That's a you problem. So, but going back to just a couple of solutions, billing. We have lots of conversation about billing tonight. Can it be tacked onto our water bill?
No.
And then it just goes through you guys, and once
We have
that gets
no
cut to them,
authority
we
to
don't deal
put-
with it.
We have no authority to put your, let's call it delinquent trash bills on the tax roll.
I'm not talking delinquent. I'm talking upcoming, going forward.
We
like-
don't do that. No.
I
We
know
have no authority.
I know we don't do it now, but other
We
municipalities
have no
do.
authority to do that.
It's a recommendation, Ken. Carts. Carts. We've got carts. Carts are a problem. Two things. One, if your truck picks up a broken cart, calls in a cart and says that I need another cart delivered here, deliver a cart. We shouldn't have to call it in that your truck picked up a broken cart and it didn't leave a replaced one. That's something you guys can fix. But another solution to that is Township Hall can have a stock for people to come pick up from here, where I just walk up and say, hey, I need a cart. I don't have one. There's somebody working here. I know somebody has to work in this building. Let me come pick up a cart if I need a cart. That's not a hard solution. You guys are a mediator between the services of the city and the residents. Mediate. It's not, these aren't hard things to figure out. And the billing is just that. It's putting you guys as a mediator. And while you don't think you have the authority to do it, call a vote. I guarantee everybody in this room and every resident will say, just tack that crap onto my water bill. Other municipalities do it. Ask us if we're willing to do it. We're already paying the bill. It just changes who I cut the check to. And then it makes sure that we don't have any of the problems with our credit. It means we don't have any of the problems with missed bills. We don't have any problems with things going delinquent because it's already going through. Think about it, Ken. Don't give me excuses.
But we have.
No, Ken.
No, you don't know what you're talking about here, Jonathan. We have to have authority to be able to put something on the tax or on a water bill. And the contract, the privity contract runs between the customer and GFL. So we're kind of out of luck. I would like to do something like
I
that.
think he's trying to say maybe we could try to negotiate that.
It's called explore
think
the
that's-
options,
yeah.
Ken. Look at ways to think about things differently than the way we've done it in the past. The way we've done it in the past, is it working? Change how we do things.
That's all.
Stop the lunacy.
I think definitely a great suggestion. I think Mr. Thomas also made that suggestion. I think I always say, you can't tell me no. We're gonna figure out a way to do it. So I think it is something.
Just two things I want to address with the last comments. I didn't say the priority waste parked the trucks in disarray. I said they were given to us in mass disarray, which created tremendous delays on our startup last week. Second thing is, if you would like carts staged at Township Hall, we can discuss that. I can have carts brought out, a certain quantity. If folks want to switch them out, we can certainly accommodate that. I'll step aside.
We got room.
That's a great idea.
Ryan Clark again, 8600 Barrington. An immediate solution I would think is you use some words that kind of scared me, like I think, Sam.
What you say?
What'd you say?
He was just being quiet because he wants to get Sam's attention.
You just use words that scare me, like I think and I believe and I'll try. So while you're thinking and trying, can we get dumpsters set out immediately at key points? Obviously, it's not our job to dump the trash, but that's something, we have extreme situations going on right now. So can you guarantee that you'll have dumpsters set in key areas of Superior Township by tomorrow? I have to imagine you guys can work that out at a very cheap cost with GFL. Sorry about that.
Sir, I missed some of that communication. There was a request for having dumpsters at Township Hall for trash.
Well,
Not immediately. What we want you to do is collect the trash immediately. That's the first thing.
No,
And we could talk about the other part of getting some dumpsters, but we do need the people to get dumpsters. So if we can get a couple, if you can't deliver those dumpsters to the woman who is in a brand new house and has garbage in her garage, I don't know how that's gonna work.
It's her bins.
All I need is that address. And I think, someone has that address. I'll get
Yeah,
a
okay.
cart delivered to that house.
I was talking about dumpsters immediately
Right.
tomorrow in key areas.
wait.
of your town.
Hang on, Brian.
People that have extreme situations.
Hmm.
They can at least get
So I have been telling residents who call that we do have two dumpsters that we are like community dumpsters. I gave them the addresses where they're at. And I told them I would monitor it. And if we need a switch, then I would call you and we need a quick switch. You can come and get the dumpster, empty it and move on. And we can keep an empty dumpster in two places in the township.
Thank you. Okay,
Okay. Any others?
this lady, I think, wanted something. Maybe not.
Yes, my name is Mark Brown. I stay in the Panama area. And I was wondering, are they trained? Because I had a problem me and quite a few neighbors, they would dump the garbage. And one day I came home, the can was in the middle of my driveway. I have to get out my car to move it. Then one time it was in my neighbor's yard. Do you train? Is these guys trained? That's all I need to know. Because they should be trained. They shouldn't just leave our garbage cans any kind of way. And some people had the garbage cans missing. Are they trained? Can you answer that, Sam, please?
Well, yes, they are trained. Is there a situation where an automated truck picks up a cart and moves it to the other side of the driveway, maybe in the middle of the driveway? There are those situations. We address them as presented to us. Sometimes the carts are moved from maybe one side of the driveway to the other. If it's near a parked car, sometimes we have to move it. But those are some of the situations. I'll take that back. We'll talk about that. That's an ongoing training issue all the time, cleaning up messes and leaving carts out of the middle driveway and not in front of mailboxes. So that's an ongoing training thing. I'll address that again with the workforce. Thank you.
I'll say Landis. Yeah, you got like 15 seconds or we're going to get to the.
Steph said Priority has weight limits imposed on the bins they collect, and they have told us they will not be picking up loose bags outside of the bins. Getty's Ridge.
Yeah, but
You brought it? Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
They'll pick up the bags.
Sam said.
Sam said.
Call Sam.
He's here at the meeting and he said.
Okay. She
All right.
also said, well, she had another comment.
He's got another part.
She had another comment. How can you lie to our face and claim you made an effort when you prioritize people that were one day late over people that were a week or more late? People whose trash still hasn't been collected. Junk trucks are no excuse for a lack of communication. Your phone line to reach someone and your live chat feature is absolutely useless. I sat on hold indefinitely calling you. Your phone reps were belligerent. When I refused to give my service area because doing so resulted in me being placed on hold indefinitely, I was hung up on or transferred to voicemail. Your live chat greeted me and thanked me for my patience you assumed I had, then promptly ghosted me. Your company is unprofessional. You claimed all GFL trucks were evaluated during the 2 weeks prior to this acquisition. Why is your inability to distinguish trucks? You spent 2 weeks evaluating our problem. I still do not have a guarantee that Getty's Ridge will be serviced by tomorrow. And Ken, why? Hang on. The way you speak to residents who pay your absurd salary is inappropriate.
There is one other thing that I just made a suggestion to Sam that I think from a communication standpoint would make sense. I asked Sam if representatives from Priority could be present in the township hall, at least initially for the first month or so, 1 or 2 days a week,
it's a great
to
suggestion.
meet with the residents, to deal with that. And he said that he would take that back to see if we can make that happen.
Very good suggestion.
All right, Irma.
Yes, this is real quick, and it's because a resident asked, and I just want to get it clarified. I think I know the answer. The recycle that wasn't picked up last week, will it be picked up this week?
I thought everything was going to be picked up.
I just need to.
Sam?
Mhm.
No,
I
I don't know where he
I think
is.
he's in the back.
Oh, he's
He's
back
talking.
in the back. But
So
we have that.
I
number.
think he said everything is going to be picked up. Sam, that's correct, right? Everything is going to be picked up because we're behind on everything.
Recycle, yard waste.
We are focusing on trash and yard waste this week. Your recycle, I will try to get a truck out there this week as well to service your recycling.
Thank you.
Okay?
For the residents, we do have 2 recycling cans. There's one here and the one at the fire station number 2. Yeah, you can put
Recyclable?
any recycle, no motor oil. There's a list of things that you cannot put on. So you can utilize those, and if they fill up, I'll call Sam and we'll get a switch on them.
This is more a comment than anything. Doesn't it just ping in your head that we have to put 6 cameras on garbage trucks so that their back is covered, their drivers are covered, that were covered. Amazingly. Where is the common sense? Where's it gone?
Captain, sit down. I'm John again off Wexford Drive in Brumley Park. I've got a question. I got so much trash got from the 4th of July and then from prior to that, I had to put in my recycle bin because I didn't want to leave the trash on the ground because the rats and the raccoons was getting into it. How sure are you going to be that they will pick that up? They don't see the trash bag, but it's in a recycle bin. And they say if it's in a recycle bin, they're not going to pick it up. But I had nowhere else to put it. Trash. Okay.
All right. Okay, so one more comment, if there are any, from the internet.
Rebecca says, has priority considered alternatives to catch up? Our neighborhood is now 2 weeks behind, like third-party contracts or dumpster rentals.
Third-party contracts. I don't know where that caller lives. If they're in Monday section, they're likely been picked up by now. If they're in Tuesday section, they're going to get picked up tomorrow. So there is a delay, but we're going to march right through this week and get them picked up. There are really not many third-party providers that have availability to assist at this time. It's the reality of the industry.
So Sam, I just want to make sure the compost or the yard waste will also be picked up this week.
Yes, the trash.
Everything.
Let him answer, please.
No, he answered it already. I asked it twice.
Let me tell you that our first focus is the trash. That's what we want to get collected because the trash has rodents, maggots, so on and so forth. Our other focus this week is certainly your yard waste. This is the week yard waste is to be picked up. I'm going to do my damnedest to get a recycle truck out here tomorrow as well to start combing through Monday through Tuesday and into Wednesday section as well for any recycle carts that are out there from last week.
And Sam, finally, are you going to actively pursue the rebranding of the carts into trash recycle with priorities number on it or something?
The rebranding is going to be interesting. I know months ago, we talked about rebranding those carts at GFL with GFL decals. That I'm assuming never got done with GFL. We'll have to talk about that in greater detail.
All right, thank you. And I want to thank everybody. All right, one quick question.
We've already talked about that. We're going to.
There'll be something on the website tomorrow. That's the most immediate thing that we can do. We'll work on the communication with Sam to get the postcard or whatever literature out as soon as possible. And hopefully everything gets picked up this week and we get back to normal next week and we won't have this problem. But I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It was a meeting that was put together quickly, but it had to happen. And so thank you for coming out. We listen to you and we will respond accordingly. Thank
You have to
you.
adjourn? You don't have to do an official adjournment? Okay. I was gonna say, do you have to do an official adjournment? That's all. Okay. All right.
We need to adjourn the meeting.
We didn't adjourn the meeting.
I move.
Support.
Support.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, whoever came up with that.
Don't we have to do an official adjournment?
Thank you.
Very well.
Tried to mimic the words.
So let me go send my emails to him, right? I know.